Hello, YouTubers! This is the Awesome Agnostic, but you can call me Brian. I would like to talk to you now about something near and dear to my heart. Satan. I often call myself a LaVeyan Satanist. Now, for many of you out there, you're probably automatically going to jump to devil worshiper. I'm not a devil worshiper. I don't believe in the devil. LaVeyan Satanists don't believe in a devil figure. They don't believe in an anthropomorphic God. They don't believe in religion. They're atheists. The first step to becoming a LaVeyan Satanist is to be an atheist. We are secularists. We don't believe in the spiritual. We're carnal creatures, driven by our appetites. We're all just animals, I think. And for the religious folks out there, the delusional herd who indulge in self-deceit, who believe in fairy tales, this belief system isn't for you. You're too weak. You're hypocrites. LaVeyan Satanists are honest with themselves. We don't pretend to be holier than thou art. LaVeyan Satanists are prideful people. We don't believe in a devil, but we admire the fictional character. The anti-authoritarian figure, the rebel, the iconoclast, the person that will question authority. I like to think that Lucifer did not get kicked out of heaven. No, he took 2/3 of the angels and he said, fuck this, I'm fighting for my freedom. And he gained that freedom, just as America did. America, a much smaller army, fought back against the British. The British to whom tried to control our lives. They tried to tax us into extinction. They had no respect for us. We had no voice. But we fought back and kicked their ass and gained our independence. Through rebellion, through bloodshed, and that's what it takes. I'm a libertarian. By the way, vote Ron Paul. Though I have to be honest with you, though I agree with almost everything Ron Paul stands for, I have my doubts if any of the legislation that he's proposed is going to be able to pass. I mean, is a libertarian really going to get the bipartisan, bicameral support he needs to pass any of his beliefs? I think not. You have your Republicans and you have your Democrats. If you don't fit into one of those absurd fucking demographics, then your voice isn't heard. That, and I'm not too keen on his weak position when it comes to us being in the Middle East. As Ronald Reagan called it, enlightened self-interest. I believe we need to be over there to stabilize, or we should be over there to stabilize the oil markets. Now we're spending so much money on defense, it's just absolutely mind-numbingly ignorant. We need to be over there with a focused goal. Stabilize oil markets, and that's it. Because I enjoy having cheap gas. Well, it's not really cheap, but compared to most of the world, it's pretty cheap. And for it to continue being cheap, we need to make sure that those fucking Muslim loons in the Middle East don't cause the entire market to, revert to chaos. So we need to have some kind of military influence over there. It's basically just that simple. It's enlightened self-interest. So why should you turn to Satanism? Well, for starters, just look at all the evils of religion. You have to indulge in ignorance. You cannot have a scientific, rational, logical mindset and believe in an invisible man in the sky. It's just delusional. It's silly. It's the fantasy world that children live in. And if you were a rational adult, you wouldn't indulge in such archaic, primitive, ridiculous beliefs. You have to look at the world the way it is. You have to have some kind of rational perception. And you have to indulge. Because life is all about indulgence. Death is the great abstinence. Once everything is over, there's not going to be any pleasure anymore. There's no proof in an afterlife. There's no promise that there's going to be something more, something else after this. You're going to be rotting on the ground. So why not enjoy life to its fullest extent now? And sin it up, baby. That's the way that I look at things. I believe in gun ownership. I believe that we should be able to protect ourselves against another nation trying to come over and conquer us, trying to enslave us. I believe that we should be able to protect ourselves against our neighbors when they want to come over here and do harm to us, steal our property, rape our women, whatever. And we need to be armed to fight back against our government when it becomes so oppressive that we basically become slaves to the system. We are on the road to socialism. And I know that Amazing Atheist doesn't believe that Obama is a socialist. But when you enact socialist programs, when you build up entitlement programs, that makes you a socialist. Now, every president that we've ever had, have had, has been more and more of a socialist. So Obama, isn't the only socialist out there. Every president we've had has made the federal government larger and larger. And that's abhorrently evil. It takes away from our freedom of choice. And any entity, any being to which takes away our freedoms, tries to enslave us, isn't a good person. I don't believe that power is corruptive. I believe that people that seek that kind of power is naturally corrupted. And we need to fight back. I'm not saying take up arms. I'm not saying that yet. But Ron Paul will really help to give more power to the states so that your voice is more readily heard. I don't believe that the government fears us. I believe most people fear the government. As Thomas Jefferson, one of my idols, has said, is quoted as saying, and I'm going to butcher this quote, I know, but it basically goes like this. The difference between tyranny and democracy is that in a tyranny, people fear the government. In a democracy, the government fears the people. I don't think the government fears us. Do you? Abraham Lincoln did a lot to fuck up this country. I don't admire very many presidents at all. Many presidents to which are icons, to which people just adore, I see as abominable. Abraham Lincoln is one of them. He's taken a lot of power away from the states and put it in the federal government. The federal government should be a fraction as big as it is. Most of the power should be on the state level. Each state should be able to come up with its own identity, in a sense, that represents their people. If Texas wants to legalize the, public sale of tanks, everyone in Texas can own a tank. I don't give a fuck. If everyone in California wants to smoke marijuana, what's the federal government to tell them not to? What's their business? It's not their business. As long as you're not screwing with anyone else, what's their business what you do? What you put into your body? I call myself a Levian Satanist, though I believe that the Wiccan Rede is the, if there is a divinity of any sense, I believe that the Wiccan Rede has to be the most divine of all laws, or the most pure, I'll put it like that, of laws that I personally identify with, and that is, and it harm none, do what ye will. Which basically means as long as you're not harming anyone else, you can do whatever you want. Now, I'm not giving permission to everyone to get blazed out of their mind and go driving, around at 120 miles an hour. No, that's recklessly endangering other people, their physical person and their property, their vehicles and whatnot. So no, of course there should be laws against that. But what I do in my own private home, it's no one's fucking business. It's not the government's business. It's no one's. Well, I'm done ranting for now, but I'll continue later, I'm sure.